What's up? So today I want to break your paradigm around suffering and why suffering is actually a great thing, why you would want to have as much suffering in your life as possible, and how you can use this to really set yourself up to live a far better life. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jasper Mank, and I've helped over 75 entrepreneurs and high achievers to shift into the person that they need to be to create the reality that they want, unlock peak performance, and maximize their output and their overall well-being. So let's jump in. If I look at my own trajectory in my life, to me, it feels like I only started living in the last 3 years, because it's only been in the last 3 years that I really started making progress towards my goals. The decades prior, I was just playing video games all day. I wasn't working for more than an hour a day, unless, in some side gig to earn some extra income. And I wasted all of my time. And looking back to it, it's not like it feels like I didn't do anything in that time. It feels like I didn't move in life. And looking back, there was nothing gained from all of that time. Now, in the last 3 years, I've literally gone from the starting point of being that fucking degenerate, putting everything into myself and into mentorship, into coaching, into working with the right people. And very fast, my life has shifted tremendously where, now I'm the best body of my life. My network is extremely well developed. I have my own online business. Like it's all come together very nicely in a short period of time. And the main contributor to that is tremendous amounts of suffering. If you look at the years prior, everything that I did was escape my reality. It was avoid the pain that I felt by doing fun things in the short term. And in the last 3 years, and especially in the last year, I have completely numbed myself. I don't care about myself anymore. I don't care about my feelings anymore. I just care about how I can show up to make sure that my purpose is, that I'm aligned with my purpose, that my program is on, that I do not miss on my basics, that I wake up at the same time every single day, that I help the people that I need to help every single day, that I put out content every single day. I validate myself only with the work. And this way of living is suffering, but it's extremely joyful suffering. It is extremely difficult, but it's the most rewarding thing that you can do. So if you're right now in a situation where you have a current way of living, you're have a certain program that you're abiding by. Everyone has a program, it's just some are really trash. If you keep going in the same way that you have been going, and you keep doing the same things on a daily basis, your habits, what you do on an average given day for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, how is your life going to progress? Because if I looked at those 10 years of wasting my life, I would have probably killed myself, first of all, because I would have become unbearable or not being able to live with myself. But beyond that, even if that didn't happen, I would have lived a miserable existence. And the moment I took responsibility and I understood that I had to suffer as much in the moment as I could, my life started to change very rapidly. So please understand, when you suffer in the present moment, you will gain rewards for that. Or it's the same way in the gym. If you feel the pain of doing another rep, then you build more muscle. If I step into a cold shower every single morning, it's not like I am happy to step into the cold shower, but the rest of the day I feel way better because my dopamine gets kicked up all the way up. And there's various things happening with your neurotransmitters, but you just feel so much better. Is that 2 minutes of suffering in the morning worth spending the entire rest of the day in a more happy state? And the same applies in the macro level, right? If instant gratification is this idea of you don't watch Netflix for an hour and you refuse you bypass instant gratification. The same thing happens in the macro. If you can stretch your mind, if you can completely avoid all of the dumb shit and just focus completely on your own personal development for weeks, months, years on end, and you do not ever fail, your trajectory is out of this world. I really believe that when we get to heaven, we are going to be introduced to the person that God made us to be. It is the version of ourselves that is so potent, so capable, so sharp, has so much self-worth attached to themselves. They're so proud of who they have become. Whatever that is for you, right? This is my vision. It would be the biggest pain to come up to that gate, to see God, and to not be remotely resembling that person. To understand that you completely wasted your life because you couldn't say no to the cookies and say no to your own weak mind, that you couldn't control yourself to such a extent that you've become a victim of your mind. And I was that way for a long time, so I know how painful that is. And so I want to challenge you to use this frame going forward, to think, who is this person that God will compare me to? Who is this person that I admire so greatly? Because that is also, that intuitive signaling is everything. If you admire something, God meant you to get that thing. And for me, that means across the board. And I really believe that success happens across the board, because your biggest bottleneck is your weakest link is your biggest bottleneck. If you can get clear on that, and you can then look at it from a frame of feeling the regret you're going to have then, or even right before you die, right? What if you only have a minute left to live and you have all your dear ones around you and you just have this moment where you arrive from your default future, right? From if you haven't changed things from today, and you're just, whatever it is, out of shape, you're not in the financial situation you want to be in, you're not happy with yourself, whatever thing you're currently unhappy with, if you don't change that today, or starting today, that will still exist then. So use that as fuel. And the suffering from that pain of regret is so much greater than doing the difficult things today to set yourself up to become that person. You'll either suffer through the work, through putting in the reps, through feeling the pain, through stretching your mind, or you'll suffer all day through karmic debt, through your brain telling yourself, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do better? Why are you doing this thing you said you wouldn't do again? So you'll suffer either way. But the one way of suffering gives greater joy later on. And the suffering that you're likely in right now is a downward spiral that is likely already eating you up alive, and it will probably continue to do so and only get worse and only become more difficult to step out of. Don't be that person. Understand that we are offerings. We are meant to suffer. We are meant to give everything to other people. We are meant to do difficult things. And the faster you can make this switch and start doing difficult things for the sake of doing them, rather than avoiding them, you'll go very far. So, kind of a ramble, but I hope this video really speaks to you and speaks to this lower feeling that we all have, this lower, or not lower, like deeper sense of self that we all have within us that wants to be unleashed. I hope these videos can help you unleash that. If you want to unleash that in the most efficient way possible, we have a full school community on that. If you want to hear more about coaching, you can shoot me a message as well on Instagram. And yeah, hope this is helpful.